entrar en la LCS, que es como el objetivo, ¿no?, de cualquier equipo. No podíamos pensar en esto hace 3 meses o 2 meses y claro, fue increíble.
Nos quedamos todos un poco impactados, en plan, tío, LCS, porque sonaba como muy lejano todo. Y en ese momento ya fue cuando empezamos a pensar todo cómo sería, los cambios, dejar atrás todo.
Tuvieron que pasar 2 semanas así para que ya me fuese acostumbrando. No me podía creer que fuese a dejar mi casa y la carrera y todo.
Te tienes que adaptar, tienes que acostumbrarte y es otro estilo de vida, no sé.
A mi familia fue súper difícil porque ellos sabían que yo jugaba un juego en plan semiprofesional y todo eso, pero cuando les dije que me iba a ir a Alemania por el juego a trabajar, no se lo creían.
Y yo decía que me voy a Alemania, ¿y eso? ¿Te vas a Alemania a estudiar? No, me voy a Alemania a jugar a un videojuego, me pagan por ello, ¿no? Entonces les estuve explicando y quedaron un poco flipando, pero obviamente se alegraron por mí.
En España la mentalidad de la sociedad es como, me voy a echar un FIFA. Y eso está bien visto por la gente, ¿no? Vas a jugar a un juego de fútbol, puedes echarte las horas que sea y tal. Si te dedicas un sábado entero a jugar a un juego como el LOL, pues eres un enfermo, un friki y está muy mal visto en general.
Siempre recurren al típico haditas, duendecitos, fantasioso y dices te vas a volver loco. Creo que siempre ha estado ahí, siempre. O sea, lleva desde la Season 1, ganó la Season 1 de hecho.
Me sorprendió mucho el ver que habían llegado tan lejos porque cuando escuché hablar de ellos la primera vez y no tenía idea de cómo de buenos eran ni nada.
La referencia única de España, ¿sabes? Que daba la cara, ¿sabes? En todos los torneos y siempre pues ha sido un punto de motivación saber que había alguien ahí apoyando, ¿no?
Me alegró un montón el volver a tener un equipo español ahí. Bastante contento de tener más representación.
Peque también es como un icono ya. Y un recurso también que cuando tu madre te dice estás perdiendo el tiempo jugando al ordenador, no sé qué. Y dices, así, pues mira a este tío. Te enseña un artículo o algo así sí, con números y tal y ya te empiezan a creer y dicen, oye, pues a lo mejor esto no es una tontería.
Cuando yo empecé era completamente diferente, fue casi imposible convencer a mi madre. Yo creo que ahora es más fácil explicárselo a tus padres porque cuando te clasificas para la LCS les puedes decir, mira que voy a estar aquí.
Pero esto cada vez va mejor, yo creo. Porque antes era una locura, o sea, antes era un nivel de rechazo, incluso era súper raro. Y ahora cada vez se ve mejor.
Entonces esto está creciendo un montón y ya quien no conoce el LOL ya es como se está perdiendo algo.
De pasar de ser la zona de España, de la mejor de Europa, la gente ve y dice, tío, igual que ellos pudieron, ¿por qué yo no?
Ahora que nos hemos clasificado, seguro que hay gente a la que inspiramos, ¿no? Es difícil y hay que currárselo, pero no es inalcanzable.
I bet you didn't expect that one in a feature of the Giants, guys. Welcome back to the European LCS. It was quite inspiring. If you do want to see more of FLICKR amazing or the rest of the Origin squad, by the way, go ahead and check out the European Challenger Series every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central European Time. That is 10 a.m. Pacific. And as always, find the full schedule at lolesports.com. But we're back to the LCS. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. On the blue side, it's going to be Gambit Gaming, who suffered their first loss in over 3 weeks yesterday at the hands of H2K.
Yeah, not really too much to be said about that game, and I don't think losing to H2K is such a bad thing.
That's true. It will be Cabochard in the top lane, Diamond in the jungle, Betsy now permanent mid, as we said before, Pinoy the 80 carry, Edward support, Leviathan their coach, and I do think they're still in a pretty good situation here in the standings.
Yeah, I don't think we can see too much from the H2K game because H2K are so good at the moment that every team can look bad against them.
As we saw.
But we did see their Gambit strategy get punished a little bit at least because Gambit is very focused on these like individual plays and somewhat crazy team fights where they try and catch you out off guard.
And some crazy
That
picks.
didn't happen against H2K. It happened a few times, but not enough for them to win the game, I think.
It's true. They really, really didn't allow the Evelyn to get going. I think that was a big key.
Good old jungle Evelyn.
He got really shut down there, and you got to wonder if maybe he kind of overthought his own genius in that case, being tripped up by it.
I think it's tough to say. The Evelyn pick didn't work as he wanted it to. Yes, he had 100% kill participation. That was great. but he had no pressure early on, and that's obviously when you have Evelyn, you want to have some of these sneaky like level 2, level 3 ganks where you try and get a lead for your laner. That simply didn't work. Lulex was everywhere and just pressuring all the lanes while Gambit was sitting back and farming.
Yeah, and in this matchup, I feel like they're going to be a little bit more comfortable. They're not dealing with the same type of play that we saw yesterday. Definitely not. I mean, they were able to beat Giants back in week 4. They had some absolutely fantastic play. I believe it was the top lane Morgana from Kabushar they brought that out for the first time.
One,
yeah, and it absolutely exploded them. And we'll see that team, Giants, over on the red side. And that means in the top lane, it's going to be Werlib, Frederick in the jungle, Pepinero, the mid laner, Audrey, the AD carry, support Rydell, and their coach, Lothar. And as we saw in that video, they're very excited to be here, but of course, got some work to do.
Yeah, because they want to stay here. Giants coming into this split, they said it from the start. We just want to stay in the LCS. Nothing else. In order for you to have a chance of staying in the LCS, you gotta avoid that number 10, because then you're definitely out and in the Challenger Series. So for them, and obviously as we saw here, all about, you know, representing your country. There was good friendship between them. Talk about XPeke being a role model. I think he was a role model for all of us. I mean, that guy is fantastically beautiful. I mean, that's the next level of beautiful.
Yeah.
And still, a great player.
Yeah, I feel like, and speaking of mid laners, too, standout right now, really for this team has been Pepinero. You can see how he played on LeBlanc, even in that loss. It was just magnificent play from him in particular, but they need to have more than just one superstar, I feel like. They need to have the whole team really going together and making calls. It seems like some of their comms a little bit muddy. They seem to be hesitant to make plays.
Yeah, it's always been the problem for Giants. They do fairly well early game, especially if they do manage to get Pepinero rolling in the mid lane. But then it really just, they don't seem to know what to do once they like mid to late game. And that's where they always seem to give up an advantage, or give at least an opening for the other team to come back despite them falling behind early on, and then simply lose the game from there. And we have seen a few comebacks, but they gotta be able to fix their strategy in the mid to late if they want to use the early advantage they do get sometimes.
They don't have to get the comeback going. We will see how it shakes out this time around. Picks and bans coming up, no surprises. The Jax is the first ban against Giants. They take away Betsy Zed.
Yeah, we saw yesterday H2K removed Zed and Ari from Betsy. So he was playing Lulu mid lane, which is a very different style for him. He's normally the assassin player, and he was put on more utility-focused mid lane, and it worked fairly well because he didn't really do too much in the game itself. Whenever he's been playing Zed and Ari, he's not been afraid to make the big plays, and it's been working for him because Gambit is a team that allows every player to make the plays. They're there to back you up, and they set it up well so you can go one-on-one if you want to.
Absolutely. You can see these target bans coming out. The Nidalee out of Diamond's reach this time around. And so is Pepinero's LeBlanc. We'll see what he goes for when that is not available to him.
Yeah, we have seen Ari a few times with Pepinero. Xerath used to be one of his main picks back in the Challenger Series. However, he's not able to have the same kind of like snowbally assassin style on a Xerath. It's going to be way more about the team, and that has not worked out for Giants beforehand. So these two bans from Gambit, I like them. You target the star player and you say, what are you going to carry on now? How are you going to snowball the game for your team?
Well, his next most picked champion is going to be Xerath, but that's a very different kind of champion.
Exactly, yeah.
I feel like that almost puts them in a position to either innovate a little bit right on the fly here, or they then have to try to play something that Gambit knows exactly. They could. We have seen today. The Rek'Sai's banned away, so another jungler of Diamonds they're focusing on. But I feel like Gambit is a team you really can't ban out, especially not Diamond procs.
Yeah, he has enough picks. Sejuani has been the go-to once the main picks have been removed. We haven't seen Jarvan from him in a long time, honestly. He played it in the start when they lost a lot of games. Then he stopped playing it. So he doesn't really get affected too much by the nerfs to Jarvan. And instead, they don't even have to first pick a jungler because the two main ones are gone. So there are plenty of options open. Morgana has been a massive pick for both Eddie as a support and, of course, Kapushard as a top laner. But, as you just pointed out on my screen, if you look at the summoners from Kapushard, that's the Hecarim top lane style. No flash. Let's see if he locks it in later.
Yes, of course. They have a lot of options on the board. Eddie's been able to play Morgana more or less well. Let's see what Giants do answer with, because they have two picks to them now, and it looks like we may see the Jarvan again. It's fairly standard. It's probably not going to be contested because, as you mentioned, Diamond hasn't really gone back to it. They don't need to take it now, though.
The Jarvan? No, not necessarily. I think it's because they want to see more lanes from Gambit as well before they want to maybe try and go for potential counter picks. They do have the last pick as well for them, but there's a bit of a running joke that Frederick only plays Jarvan. We have seen him play all the champions as well, so we know that's not true. but it is really his main pick. A bit like Airwax will always go for, or will often go towards the Jarvan. It's going to be the same for Frederick here. So Giants, by banning Nidalee and Rek'Sai, they set up the Jarvan pick fairly well because the top picks are now gone. But they're not really gaining anything or taking anything away from Gambit's side. Also by taking Corki, it's not really been one of the main picks for Pinoy. So there's a lot of comfort picks still open for Gambit.
Very true. And on Gambit's side, well, they're hopping the Ezreal right now. Betsy did have one game on that. It wasn't quite that effective.
First game, yeah.
It's true. For Pinoy, on the other hand, I don't believe he's played it. So, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that that's what they would go to if that's what they wanted for an AD carry, but they might switch it up here. They still have plenty of time.
Kalista has been one of the go-to picks for Pinoy. Tristana has come in whenever they play Morgana because you got the Black Shield.
There we go.
You put the Black Shield on the Tristana, and then she can get a few hits on that tower every single time. There's been a tactic from them, and as long as you can survive the early game on it, you can get to the point where you will destroy towers. But instead of a woman riding a bear or Poro,
as the skin may be, yeah. Looks like they're going to actually go for the Vi, though.
Yeah, exactly.
So Diamond Prox takes that. I haven't seen him play it. It has been something that Frederick's picked up a couple of times.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he can play just about anything in the jungle. I mean, Vi's pretty up there.
It's been a pick that's been very popular, like in China, in NA, we've seen it a lot as well, even before the nerfs to Jarvan. So yes, it has been a big pick in other regions. And I quite like getting it, because again you have these Nidalee Rek'Sai ban, and I don't like people picking double AD carry into Vi, because that just sets you up for failure when Vi can just point and click on you as an AD carry, lock you down, and whatever follow-up Gambit is going to have is going to be able to get in and kill the target.
Yeah, a little bit of an odd decision, but that is what Giants Gaming is going for. What do they answer with?
I mean, if they want to run that Descent top lane they hovered before, you just put the Morgana support for Eddie, you run Vi jungle, Descent top, and you have a fantastic comp to just dive onto these two AD carries. And if you ever get a lead and the vision control, where you can always find the right engage, and Giants won't be able to team fight you. But on their side, I mean, we mentioned how there's a lot of bans towards Pepinero. Ezreal, a lot more passive in the laning phase. Gotta get to Man Immune and Trinity Force before we really get to see some action from him. It's not going to be good, guys.
Yeah. Betsy's going to have to play something different this time, though, because everything he's played so far has actually been taken away. And we've got a Kennen and a Lissandra.
Yeah, so Lissandra mid lane, Kennen top for Cabochard. Been one of his main picks as well. Fantastic, insane team fight from Gambit's side.
Oh, they've got so much single target lockdown and burst. I mean, it's and AoE, when you look at Kennen too, their team fight is going to be scary.
Crazy amount of CC, crazy amount of damage and dive potential, and there's zero peel at the moment from Giant's side. Yes, okay, Jarvan can maybe Cataclysm a target, but that's not going to help you if they're coming from two different sides.
Look,
they can just
look who can get out of it, though.
Exactly, like that's the point here.
Everyone can escape except maybe Morgana.
And Giants already showed the Annie, so you know there's not going to be like a Jenna or a Lulu. Maybe there could be a Lulu pick for the top lane, but we haven't seen Worley play that one before. He normally likes the more carry style. But if you don't get some sort of peel now for your 280 carries, you will never be able to fight unless you have a million wards placed around whatever objective you're going to, and you can see every single flank option from Gambit side, and you just like kite backwards, Iceborne Gauntlet as well, and you just kite, and never allow them to engage. But that requires one mistake from you as a team, and then you get blown up and you lose.
Yeah, I feel like the Gnar is the best thing Giants can do in this situation. It gives them a decent front line as well as a decent laning phase, but is it too late here, Deficio? Gambit has
It's never too late.
Very scary comp. This is true.
It's never too late.
I mean, this is going to be so hard for Giants to fight against.
Yeah, it will. Giants is going to have to be the team to start the fights. Lock in that lock in the Kennen, so he won't be able to get to your backline. Trying to get on Lissandra maybe, so she won't be able to claw in and pick a target. Like, Gambit has so many options of both kiting backwards in their comp and like disengage with the likes of Morgana, even the CC and control coming from Lissandra and obviously Kalista jumping. And they also have the engage on their side. And there's so many squishy members in a back line from Giants here that if they get to those 280 carries, they die instantly. Like, there's nothing they can do. So for Giants here, and it's a thing they have struggled with in the past, playing around vision control is not a thing they'd like to do. They set up a few wards around the dragon and then leave it, and they just walk away. You cannot do that when you play against this much engage and CC. You have to properly time your wards around objectives, poke, and get the right engage. When you have the front line, Gnar, Annie, Jarvan going in, then you might be able to win a fight, otherwise you will get destroyed.
Yeah, it's going to really be all or nothing, but You guys don't have to be as we load into the game. Why don't you get on Twitter and make yourselves a prediction? Tweet us at LOL Esports with the hashtags GMB win or GIA win. Let us know who you think is going to come out on top in this game. It's certainly going to be explosive. And speaking of, so is the crowd, the stamping feet. They are ready for this game to start. This is going to be the one that closes out Week 7, Deficio, and it's going to be Gambit Gaming versus Giants.
It will indeed. Let's see what Giants wants to do early on with their comp, because Gnar into Kennen is not a good matchup for Gnar. That's fairly easy for Cabochard to control that lane. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them swap around, send the Corgi Annie to the top lane, try and leave Corgi on his own for as much as possible, or long as possible, give him that XP advantage, and try and use that around the 20-minute mark when you got the 2 items completed on Ezreal. That's where you group and you poke. And you are stronger, or should be if you play correctly, and then you can use that timing to get control of the map, or at least like 1 or 2 lanes and a jungle, spot the engage, and that's basically your go-to tactic. If you don't manage to use that 20-minute moment, well then suddenly Gambit can do whatever they want, because their late game as well is pretty scary with the likes of Kennen and Kalista.
Well, the early game's looking pretty scary right now too for Audrey. He gets caught by the Dark Binding. 3 members of Gambit are here. He's gonna heal, but he might have to flash as well. Yes, he will. For the cost of an Ignite, they burn 2 summoners, or rather, a Exhaust, excuse me.
Yeah, Exhaust, good binding from Eddie. Adric back to base. Let's see where he goes now. Gnar sitting in the top lane, so it looks like standard lanes from Giant's side.
He's starting to back though. Oh, no.
They don't have any wards to spot where Gambit is going on the map, because there's only 1. Well, there's actually just 3 defensive wards, and okay, there was 1, sorry, I couldn't see it from Cabochard. That might have just been placed by Rydell. So they know if they did spot him on that one. I didn't see if they did. Then they know he's top lane. They are going to swap, as we mentioned. So they must have spotted Cabochard beforehand.
Very top heavy for the time being too.
Yeah, you're going to give...
See the Gnar swap down?
So normally you would give Gnar the Crux here, so he gets level 2 and then he goes down to the bottom lane. But in this case, because Frederick is starting up in the top side, you deny your own top laner farm now, and he's going to be a level 1 Gnar going down to a lane if he goes there early on, because the lane will be pushing, as you can see, Gambit are doing the camp at level 1, so they're not getting a freeze. So that lane is going to slowly push into the tower. That means Whirlip needs to be ready to go down there, preferably not even using teleport, because that's a bit risky in case you get tower dived. So for now he's staying with Frederick. Might force him to just teleport down.
Yeah, might have to burn that one in this situation. Still with the jungle tag team going on over at the Raptor camp. Meanwhile in the mid lane we saw Betsy taken a little bit low a moment ago by Peppy. Still, not a lot of kill pressure from an Ezreal early.
No, that's very true. It's going to be a farm lane for him, and giving the roaming pressure to Betsy. But look at what Gambit is doing. So because they know it's going to be the swap, they basically put Kalista on her own from the start. So she can slowly push in that wave, and she gets an XP advantage over the Gnar. So when you get that one-on-one lane, Kalista will be able to dive him, basically, or not dive him, but jump him and try and force him away. Giants, however, there are 4 guys on this top side map, so Diamond should not be walking around here.
Yep.
Can't get punished for it.
A little slow to move, and he actually has to flash to get away from that one. Edward was trying to push them off this blue buff, but Giants, they're having none of that. The Dark Bindings are down. There's still 4 members here. You can't contest
Whirlip
even
needs
with
to go bottom
Cabochard.
lane. Whirlip has to go bottom lane now, or he loses too much farm. You're not going to dive anyway to the 2 guys from Gambit. The Morgana's here with the Black Shield. Kennen already got level 2 as well. Oh, sorry, with the binding from Eddie.
There's the teleport. Oh, the binding's going to cancel it, Eddie.
That's huge.
Oh, that's big for them.
Whirlip is going to be so far behind now. No teleport. Lost the entire wave. They're just slowly being built up by Pinoy. He's level 3 already on Kalista. If that lane ever gets reset and is in the middle of the lane, Pinoy's going to walk straight forward and just start trading on Whirlip and force him back. Meanwhile, Gambit getting farm on the Kennen.
Another binding 2 lands on Audrey. He's at half his health. It's very dangerous for Giants right now with the lethality of Edward shooting those Dark Bindings, managing to land them on just about anybody. And this awkward 2v2 right now for Giants, even if they seem to have maybe in theory, on paper, it's not really working out. They're getting shoved in.
Yeah, Kennen is fantastic in terms of trading early. He basically counts as
another AD carry.
Somewhat of an AD carry. Funny enough, the old Giants team back in Season 3, the very first split, they were known for Kennen AD carry on Gym Bones. So there you go, Pyra.
Yeah,
that's a history one.
Them this time.
But now they're getting punished by Kennen. Oh, and obviously a completely new team, so I don't think they care at all.
It's okay. It's always
anyway,
good to learn
random
history
facts.
for history's sake. Thank you.
The point is, Giants are losing this lane swap. Done deal.
Yeah, they're having some serious trouble. Gold's not showing it just yet, but you can see in just a moment the Giants are going to be in a little bit of trouble. Pinoy moving forward onto Werlib right now. Diamond was waiting in the wings, but he's not really required. Werlib down to half health himself, and he just can't get any farm right now.
And that's the benefit when you give your AD carry the solo XP. Your supporter leaves, he goes to the top lane anyway, so he's there to prevent a dive on your top lane at the cannon, who's going to be in the lane. You make sure your AD carry gets so far ahead in XP compared to the enemy top laner that it's an easy one-on-one lane for him. And now, as we said here, once the lane resets, well, you just deny farm from this now on your own. You don't even have to invest any resources. Diamond didn't have to be here. He's there for safety. And if Werlib decides to overextend, then he can kill him. But Kalista on her own is going to have a great time.
Oh yeah, you look at the difference between the top laners. The farm differential is just massive. He does pick up the second Doran's Blade to have a little bit more bite early on. You can see Eddie waiting out there to see if he can get a binding catch on Audrey, who's playing back very safely for the time being.
Yeah. Honestly, now, Ryder needs to go down to this bottom lane and help Werlib push out the wave. Because Werlib is in a terrible situation where he's getting barely no farm, and Cabochard is just free farming the top lane because Eddie's there to help him. Ryder's not adding anything in his lane. Anyway, they're not going to kill him 2-2. Have Audrey sit, not get binded, first of all, and just farm. Wait for the wave to push in, make sure Nah can push out. Okay, it works with the jungler too here from Frederick's side. But you need your Corki now to catch up in levels. You need him to get to a point where he gets at least level like 7 or 9, hopefully, by the time you start grouping. Because you can see for Pepinero, he's gone tier first. So he's aiming for tier into Trinity Force, which would be the standard one. Oh, Pinoy, he might be going a little bit too aggressive now.
Yeah, although he's still able to leap away. Now Frederick's moving around and he's going to discover it. He's actually keeping on going. He flashes forward and he keeps pushing them back. Yeah, he's totally fine in a 1v2.
1 versus 2 as an AD carry, but you are level 6 at this one. You got solo farm and solo XP all game long.
Back up in the top lane too. Audrey, another binding is going to connect on the Tormented Soil. Cabochard, Rydal with the stun kept them from even thinking about that dive.
Yeah.
Still, it's not looking good for Giants in this early game.
Oh, that's the thing. They're not really gaining anything in any of their lanes. Mid lane is a farm fest. Pepinero is winning it, however. Pretty handily on this Ezreal. And as I said before, he's early tier. Normally when you see that, he goes into a Trinity Force before he gets a mana immune. And that gives you a like 15-minute moment where you get that Trinity Force, you have a tier for enough mana to poke. And luckily, or hopefully, if your Corki has Trinity Force completed at that point as well, then you put those two guys together and you have a strong core to try and make some plays, but it's so hard to pull off. And it's not like Gambit is liking wave in the mid lane when you just have Alessandro sitting there. And Betsy's obviously not going to move if Giants decide to group there.
Yeah, but for the time being, Giants, they're still able to do what they want in the lanes. Let's see if that translates into some further map control. Edward is going to go ahead, throw on the Black Shield to avoid the stun. Clears out the pink ward and throws another one of his own. Meanwhile, Diamond making a trek down to the bottom lane, but so is Rydal. And Edward is there too. This could get bloody.
So now Rydal's gone down here because they've swapped it around. Yeah. Not a nice welcome. You're just coming down to your bottom lane, and then the enemy sends their support and jungler to go and kill you instantly.
Uh-oh. May have been the wrong neighborhood. The binding not going to connect. Audrey, though, is having to have to immediately Valkyrie out of danger. Gambit still flexing their muscles here in every one of the lanes. You look at that farm differential up in the top. Warlib, yeah. He's so far behind in this situation. He's calling on the help of Frederick, but he's not looking the healthiest either.
The only time we saw Giants try and help him was Frederick coming down for a gank when Kalista was already level 6 or level 4 on Jarvan and Gnar. That was not enough. They should have helped him way earlier, push out the wave if they want to give him any chance of getting some farm. So yeah, he's really far behind. He's going for a Hexdrinker first, which is fine into double AP, into a Kennen lane. Oh, did Frederick get it?
Frederick did get it.
Oops. Not on purpose. Anyway, so the Hexdrinker, yes, it's fine into double AP and into Kennen lane. But for the first team fight, well, you're going to be a lot squishier. And that's just such a problem. I'm not saying Hexdrinker is bad, just that Gnar is so far behind.
Yeah, well, and also the rest of the members of Gambit are so far ahead at this point. You can see Pinoy, he's got the level advantage, and he'd already picked up the Bilgewater. He's able to just move around oh so quickly with that attack speed boost he gets. Audrey is having trouble just trying to pick farm while not being harassed. And now that it's going under tower, they're going to be able to pick it up. But still, it's hard to deal with this Kalista the faster it goes. And Pinoy has really proven himself pretty deadly on this champion.
I have to remember there was a small change to her where you only get 66% of your attack speed in terms of like your hits when you are moving around.
Still making it look like 100. Now Cabochard, he's looking to go 0 to 100. Werlib so low, having to burn his flash. Cabochard gonna go forward with it as well. Werlib, can he get away? He's got Meganar nowhere near completing. The Shurikens are taking him down. And just like that, we got first blood at 10 minutes.
Possible for him to do anything. Keep in mind as well that Eddie binded him when he was trying to teleport to this bottom lane and get the farm. That was really the first one, and it was such a good move by Eddie. And then the next one where, well, Yunar had already fallen extremely far. This is only going to get worse for him. Dragon now for Gambit. Werlib has to use teleport to pick up the wave. That's a good call.
It's only going to get worse for Giants so far. You can see, so many spears sticking out of the Drake. They're popped, and that is going to get picked up thanks to Pinoy. First Dragon of the game going over to Gambit. They have extended a decent bit of gold in the lead as well. And now back to the laning phase that they've been so dominant at.
It's a Cutlass as well, so they have very good trading potential. Cutlass is one of the best first items to get on a Kalista in terms of just your early damage with the active as well.
I love how Eddie's body zoning this one. He just baits out the stun and throws down the Black Shield in preparation for it, and Pinoy is just perfectly happy, free farming.
Alright, so Werlib had to use teleport back to his lane, which means Cabochard has the advantage in terms of global pressure. If there's a fight, then he can just teleport down behind, meaning that suddenly Giants cannot make a play on the bottom side of the map without respecting the likes of a Kennen coming down behind you and killing you. He already sits on a large rod as well. So this gank right here, unless you instantly blow up a target and disengage, then you should expect the Kennen to show up. There's no ward sadly though for Cabochard to teleport on.
They didn't see that Jarvan either. Or did they? Throw down the Tormented Soil. There we go.
I think they got him before, yeah. He's staying though.
But Pinoy and Edward are going to play back safe enough for the time being. They're going to be able to stay safe. Maybe not from the True Shot Barrage. The flash. Oh, hello. The Fate's call to pull him away. Eddie. He gets his life saved courtesy of Pinoy. The tower's getting pushed on, but Giants can't find a kill.
I like that setup though by Giants here, using the Ezreal ulti from the mid lane together with the Tibbers. That's quite a lot of burst damage onto one target. Sadly, there is a Kalista, and Pinoy were pretty fast. They are pulling in Eddie, keeping him alive. Now, it's not over yet. Keep in mind that teleport from Cabochard. It can come down now.
Yes, it can. It looks like that's what they're going to do, and Giants immediately bailing out. The Dark Binding is dodged, but it's still a 3v3 here. Edward's still moving forward, going to back off now. However, this does give some breathing room to Werlib to push in top.
And that TP was a bit of a letdown once Eddie didn't manage to connect the binding. We'll have to return to the top lane, but it was a bit of a free one because no dragon, obviously. No chance of Werlib really following him. And Gambit might be able to just push in this tower now if they want. Then there should be a play for Pinoy. Always his first choice on Kalista. Many other players decide for like BT, we have seen standard like in Vintage into Static Shift. I've seen even first build Hurricane. There's been so many different options. The European Kalistas, they prefer Blade first, nearly into every single matchup.
And there it is.
And there it is.
Yeah, I think it definitely works well and suits the style of Pinoy.
It's just less overall damage, but it gives you more.
But they don't mind when the laning phase is going to sit to this point anyway, so they don't need to take the straight team fights. They still have the lead. In this kind of situation, it's great for Gambit. And they're really able to go anywhere they want on the map for the time being. So they've only got the one tower down, but they're soon to maybe take the bottom one. It's about at half his health. I just checked a moment ago. The one on the top obviously had already evaporated. Cabochard's going to continue to make Werlib's life hard. You just see that CS differential double the level at 13.5. A rough start for Werlib.
Kennen in a lane swap and you almost have the same CS as your AD carry. Then you've had a great time. That's for sure for him. Early Hourglass obviously also means Cabochard can join the team fights and dive the backline. Now, he might get dove by Frederick.
Yep, Frederick, he's going to flag on in and throw down the Cataclysm. Jumps out as well. Frederick really low. Cabochard, is he going to make the 1v2 play? I don't know. Werlib is getting close to Meganar, but he's not there yet. A double kill. Cabochard with the outplay, and Gambit take a tower in mid.
It wasn't Cabochard being stuck in that Cataclysm. It was Frederick and Werlib being stuck in there with him. He turns it around. We talked about how fed he was. 1 versus 2. Suddenly mid tower goes down because you see 2 guys in the top lane. Well, you suddenly have a numbers advantage elsewhere. Vi or Diamond came in, got that one. Pepinero though, he wants a kill. Dance around these minions.
Yes, the shutdown. So he'll be able to avenge his comrades in arms. However, the mid tower had already fallen. The bottom one very soon to, it looks like, as Pinoy uncontested throws the last spear in it, and it is cooked. Audrey, he could be in trouble too, but he backs away.
5k goal lead at 14, nearly 15 minutes.
Gambit aren't letting up either.
Oh, Gambit are really showing they are channeling their inner H2K style. Push your early lead.
It's funny that we talked about this yesterday, that they were really more of the biceps rather than the brains in the European LCS, but you know, this is a little bit more variety from them. Clearly they've kind of been served the game they want on a silver platter here, as Frederick is caught on another binding, and a whole lot of damage from the Renprox. Bet's looking to possibly finish it off. The Tibbers is going to hit him, but Frederick is going to go down as he swag flags away. It looks like Rydal will as well. Gambit, they turn on the heat, and Giants have to get out of the kitchen.
Yeah, Giants no longer feel safe in their own jungle, and if they ever walk in there, they will expect, or should expect, Diamond and Betsy to sit ready with the rest of Gambit and just kill them. Just classic control. Once you get these outer turrets, you start taking over the enemy team's jungle, and suddenly they have nowhere to go other than back in their own base and around the base gate inhibitors if they want to move between lanes. Giants decided not to, got punished for it.
That's putting it mildly, I would say, Deficio. So 23 seconds on this next Dragon. Gambit firmly in control of the map around it. Not just there, but pretty much everywhere there aren't Giants turrets. So they should be able to take that one handily, but the Giants, you know, they've got to be able to slow this down a little bit. How can they contest
Red buff steal.
Oh, it's not going to go.
Got the small one.
Consolation prize.
Some XP at least.
Got to take what you can get.
Yeah, for sure. Tried the snipe at least. Didn't even have a ward on it, so it was a bit of a wild guess from him.
Yeah, just an effort. And you mentioned the tier into Trinity Force. He did go for the Manamune this time, but I feel like that's a little bit more out of necessity than personal preference.
Well, I guess just, I didn't know if he was forced back around like 5 minutes to get it in. Normally what we see, people go Manamune first. You just sit and farm a lane until you can afford straight up get the Manamune. You don't go back first for tier, then go back second time for Manamune, then turn to your lane. But Pepinero still is going towards Trinity Force second. Currently sitting on 709 mana. So this is going to be a very fast stacking tier. That's obviously what you get if you go back early and get a tier extremely fast. Doesn't give you any like combat stats in your lane, but it was a free lane for him anyway. He was just farming it really well, so he got to really stack that one fast. There's going to be a Manamune, or more mana, I should say. And he's going to Iceborne Gauntlet, so there will be some kiting now coming in from Giants. And once again, this is going to be about them spotting Gambit when they're trying to engage and then kiting around.
You got to worry about the damage potential they have too, though, here, because this is going to throw so much of the burden of that onto Audrey. And he's got his Trinity Force completed, so he does have that power spike. But Giants, the problem is they've entered this mid-game so far behind.
Yeah. Spikes doesn't really matter anymore.
Exactly. It's going to be really, really hard for them to even take a fight. And Gambit, they're playing just too smart. They're out-rotating Giants, and they're really far ahead just in their fighting capability, too.
And this is what we've seen so many teams adapt now, is the safe way of pushing your lead is simply by staying in your lanes and push them up. SK does it, HOK does it. We saw Copenhagen was do it yesterday against Elements. You simply play around, always pressuring every single lane, so you get full information of the enemy team because they're sitting and defending anyway. And then you just slowly ward up the jungle, and you can see everything. There's no real risk of you getting caught out unless you overextend completely. And that's the only thing Giants can really look for if they want to punish Gambit.
Exactly, and not only that, they're denying any attempts for the Giants to grab any more ground back by clearing out the vision immediately. It's just slowly suffocating them out of their own jungle, continuing to use those routes through the jungle to move in mass into lanes wherever they want to and keep Giants scratching their heads. Continuing to do that here, Giants, they are in some serious danger of having another quick game lost by them. Let's see if they can answer back, though. Gambit still pressuring down the bottom.
And we have to remember it's Giants. They are a team who never gives up and will always try for the comeback. So we can never call it completely over with them. I mean, when they came back against Elements.
This is true.
That was, but yeah.
This is starting to get really, really tough, though.
It is starting to get to the point where they shouldn't be able to come back because Gambit has gotten such a big lead. I just want to say still that I know they as a team believe in it and stay focused.
You have to give them some credit there. We'll see how This game continues as the flash. Tibbers comes in. Pinoy, Eddie are going to be in some trouble, but we'll have to take a quick break. The pause comes in. Oh, that's going to be a tense on pause.
Good setup though by Giants. We can just look at it now, how it looks. Obviously the player's not allowed to remove the headset anyway, so they can't really hear us talk. But that was a pretty nice setup by Giants. Ryle was hiding in the bush and saying, I'm waiting for you guys to push up and I'm going to try and tip us someone before the black shield comes down from Eddie and see if we can create a very quick pick here. Sadly, once again the Kalista ulti can't really deny you these picks.
Yes, so even if you do manage to get that big catch on the squishy
even
support,
if you stun the guy,
you can get
just pull him in anyway, because that doesn't affect the Kalista when she's using the ulti. So you can have 200-second stun on Eddie. Well, doesn't matter. Pull him in, throw him out.
Yeah, and he's perfectly fine, at least out of harm's way. Speaking of Eddie, see him on the screen there. We'll see what the issue is in just a moment. But yeah, so now you've got the Tibbers down. You've got the Fade's Call also used. I feel like Giants are going to try to have to force the issue, but they don't have a numbers advantage exactly, and since their stun rotation's been blown, it's even 3v3 right now. Both the top laners have the teleport available. How far do Giants want to push this? That's the question.
I think now once they've missed the first engage, and they can also, they know they have only Mininar sitting in the top lane, to Kennen with already 3 kills and ulti ready, I would just back away now and say, okay, we tried, it was a good play, but obviously we can't really see exactly what's going on here. But it does look like Eddie got safe. So for Giants, once you get this far behind and you just push back into your lanes, the only thing you can do is what they do now. You try and make a bit of a risky play, see if you can catch Gambit off guard, create a pick or two, because once you get that 1 or 2 kills, everyone is forced to then back away, because you can't keep pushing the 2 lanes. If the bottom lane has just died, you have to respect the fact that Giants can now go from the bottom into the mid lane, and suddenly Betsy pushing there, he has to back away, and you buy more time. You open up the map a little bit more, because now you can walk into your own jungle. You just push Gambit back. You can clear the ping wards there. You can put your own wards down. You might even, if you're lucky with the timing, go towards the dragon. But the main thing now is just getting or regaining control of your own jungle, so you can sit in there and now look for the next pick. And also you can move between the lanes a lot easier once you get 1 or 2 kills. So if they do manage to get the kills here, the rest of Gambit is going to be forced to slightly back away. Cabochard might be able to get something because he's all the way in the top lane, but at least the mid lane has to go back, and then the blue buff area is open for Giants to take over.
Right,
or
and of course, you know, even if Giants don't over-pursue this, they may scare Gambit into rethinking, pushing too far forward. Then they can grab some of that back. That undoes some of the work, though, that Gambit's been doing to continue to press their advantage and control, you know, 60, 70, 80, whatever % of the map that they've already got. Dragon's not quite near respawning. I believe it was taken fairly quickly just a little while ago. And of course, we were just notified a minute that the issue in question was related to the keyboard of Edward, but hopefully that one does get fixed up pretty soon. Again, back to the way the aftermath and the ramifications of what this fight ends up being. Even if no one is killed, I feel like Giants, they do have a chance to get themselves some control of their map back, but by the same token, maybe they're the ones with the cold feet to do this because they have blown the crucial spells.
Exactly.
The Tibbers is down.
Yeah.
And then do Gambit take advantage of that and press them in, because then it could be disastrous for Giants Gaming.
Yeah, we have to remember Pinoy is sitting on a blade, so he has lifesteal. So even if he does take some damage, he's going to sustain it back. And if they manage to pull in Eddie before he takes any damage either, well, everyone is still full HP. And you just used flash ulti from your Annie. That's going to be your main engage in the bottom lane. Unless the Jarvan can come in, but he should never be allowed to because there are wards in the jungle from Gambit, so he should never get that flank. Which simply means Gambit has no reason to stop. Because you just used all these cooldowns. You didn't gain anything. Gambit's just going to keep pushing it up, and it's just a matter of time before one of these towers take enough damage for Gambit to take the quick route and just say, okay, we know the mid lane tower is on 50%. Bottom lane, top lane, go through the jungle, get to this mid lane before Giants can walk around and defend it. 5-man, we just instant take it down. And that's the risk, because these towers will slowly but surely drop down in health. Once they're low enough, it's an easy and fast rotation from Gambit through their own jungle, where Giants have to run all the way around the towers to take down 1 or 2 out of more and get into a bigger goal.
Exactly. We saw the same thing happening with H2K versus the Wolves, where it was just the defending team was at a disadvantage, unable to use their own jungle routes in that situation. And that's exactly what Gambit wants. They want to keep that pressure up and just completely drive away any chance for Giants to
push
really
them
get
into
involved.
a corner.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Just keep pushing them in. So we'll see if they can keep doing that. The real question, though, with Giants is, can they make the big comeback? That's always the big thing for them. Can they keep that tradition alive of even when being completely down, just take an absolutely ill-advised fight, somehow make it work for them. But, you know, they shouldn't have to be in these situations. I mean, this is the big issue for them going forward, and they've allowed Gambit to do that. We are replacing Edward's keyboard, so hopefully we'll be back into this one in just a few. In the greater context of the way that the league's been shaking out too, I mean, every game is becoming a must-win for Giants. MWM, they picked up a couple, so Giants Gaming, they're not safe out of relegation territory.
No, that's true.
And Gambit, you know, this is a hungry team. They want to move themselves back up the standings after, you know, frankly, an abysmal start for them once they managed to pick things up and get steamrolling. I mean, they've been a force to be reckoned with, and Giants are finding that out right now.
Two very different teams in terms of the standings. Gambit are looking to try and break into the top 2 and secure a spot in the semifinal. And obviously, Giants are looking behind them, where MOM is sitting only 1 win at the moment away from Giants. So by them losing here, well, again, you never really feel safe. Let's see what happens, though. We're back into the game.
Now we will. Rydell, he's going to go down immediately. And Frederick is going to follow Cabochard with the Zanya style points after the fact. So I guess there's our answer to Fishio. No stopping the Gambit train. It's left the station. Betsy taking a little damage on the backside of that, but they're going to be able to take down the tower. Easy peasy.
Giants didn't even have time to back away before Cabochard came with that teleport and destroyed them. We had the Mininar only for Whirlip, so he wouldn't be able to do anything. And Gambit, quick turnaround, got a tower, 7 kills for 1. 2 dragons, 20 minutes in. They have a lot of options now. Either you go for 5 dragons, you can also just get the last 2 outer turrets on the top side, because now you can put all your focus on those 2 lanes and the jungle around the Baron. Once those towers are down, you go for Baron after. Obviously, you don't allow Frederick to get close, because he has shown that he can steal Baron a few times.
Yes, he has proved that, so they shouldn't be too eager to give them a chance to do it this time. Whirlip is going to take the top tower after much effort, I would say. Now he could be in some trouble, though. Cabochard Edward looking to capture him in a dark binding, but it won't be the case. He does juke it out. Now Giants, they had a trap of their own set up. Cabochard and Edward are going to escape just fine.
Giants were expecting Gambit to at least start pushing in the top lane, and that's why they were sitting ready, hoping to create a quick pick and maybe delay this push coming. But otherwise, though, for Gambit, go back now, slow push the bottom lane, set 4-man in the mid lane, have your cannon pushing the top lane, slowly push him into the tower, go into the jungle, set up all the wards. Obviously, Dragon is spawning on 130 as well, so that's going to be a goal for you, because you're already sitting on 2 for 0.
Look at how quick they're able to clear out anything. That blue buff never stood a chance. 2-0-2. Benoit is now on this Kalista. Cabochard, 4 kills to his name. He has been a massive force in these fights. That 2v1 outplay really brings to mind Diamond looking to make a play. Giants backing away from that one, and it's just turned into a game of chicken for the Giants gaming squad.
And now the bot lane is pushing for Gambit. Dragon is spawning in a minute's time, but they have all the wards around it. And remember, Giants can never face check. When you're running double AD carry, you can never face check a team like this. Pretty much, you can't face check anything. But that should just secure another one for Gambit. Keep pushing in. There we go. We got the push in mid lane. We got the push in top lane. Betsy moving in as well to join the team in the 4-1. Can even go top lane, get a few more wards down, or just slowly push down these 2 towers like they're doing now.
Yeah, True Shot Barrage is going to come in and chips away a little bit of Diamond's health bar, but those waves are being cleared oh so fast. Gambit can keep this one up. And Whirlip, he's only got a little bit of time left. Yep, the Meganar goes down. That is going to be Cabochard moving back up to the top lane to do it all over again. Giants, they have to find an answer here to stop this Gambit assault.
Flash is not ready for Rydell yet. They're going to need that one if they want to catch someone off guard from Gambit's side, because Frederick is not going to be able to get the right engage for himself. So it's going to be about Rydell here with Flash Tibbers. It's up in a few seconds. He needs to pull the trigger somewhere, otherwise these 2 tier 2 turrets are going to go down as well. And there we see
they're the one pulling the trigger.
Right through the jungle.
Oh, there's a big Gnar though. Yeah, Betsy's going to throw down the Frozen Tomb. The smite is on. Here comes the rest of Giants. However, maybe Gambit have overstayed their welcome. Betsy going down to Audrey. Cabochard Diamond trapped in the back. They take out Frederick. Cabochard is going to get blown up by a combination of Peppy and Audrey. But nonetheless, Gambit Gaming still trying to make good in the mid lane. Dragons live, however. Looks like they're going to go back and set up for number 3.
And that was everyone from Giants going top lane to get 2 kills. Mid lane tower was then open. Pinoy picked it up for himself. He's gonna get a dragon as well now for Gambit side. So they can't even complain about the fact they lose 2 guys, because they get 1 kill, they get a tower and a dragon. And it's what you have to do. Because when you are that much stronger...
Oh! Okay!
Oh, ran too early from Pinoy.
You know, he may be building blue, but I feel like Peppy's going to be pretty happy after that one.
Big plays.
Holy.
So important. Suddenly this 5th dragon is very delayed, and you get the 6% for Giants. That was huge. And Pinoy not having the AD to pull off that Ren.
No, I think that was a little bit greedy of them to try that without Diamond at home.
Nah, it's fine because Rend itself does more damage than a Smite when you get so many stacks on it. It was just he mistimed the damage, simply. Or maybe he likes Giants and he has them in Fantasy and he wanted to give them a dragon, I don't know.
Yeah, could help. Nonetheless, Pepinero's able to make good on that one. Giants grab their first dragon after the fact. Still down a significant portion of gold, but they've got a chance to close that just a little bit here with the tower. But Diamond is there. Assault and battery onto Audrey. He's down already. The Meganar trying to help the team, but a teleport coming in now. Kabashard will join the fray in just a moment. Here he goes, rushing forward. Werlib is isolated from the rest of his team. He's locked up. He's taken down, and it is a 2 for 0, even with the True Shot Barrage coming in. Pinoy, though, gotta watch it. Pepinero's got some damage.
Pepinero's doing some serious damage here. He's going for it. Oh, missed the Mystic shot there. Otherwise, though, Gambit once again. They show what they can do once they get the engage. Blow up Giants. Still, with Pepinero poking so much, we'll get a tower for themselves. So Giants are slowly trying to get back in the game. Tower now, Dragon beforehand, all about Pepinero. And his damage is scary at this point. 25 minutes in on Israel. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to make the plays with this blue build for him in this case. Obviously, Corki is at fairly behind in terms of farm, but there's 2 kills still for Audrey, so he's not even in that bad of a spot. And look at Pepinero again.
Yeah, Pinoy's going a little low. Oh boy, Peppy has to burn his flash to get away. And one thing we didn't really mention too much, he's been rocking the cleanse this game too. So he doesn't have to go for the Quicksilver Sash. I mean, he's got that as a summoner. He could, even for extra, just to avoid being locked down. I mean, I guess that's one way to deal with a Vi. Or Lissandra, for that matter.
Yeah, sadly, though, and this is one of the annoying things when you play AD carry in solo queue as well. I've talked a lot about solo queue today for some reason, but QSS doesn't do anything against Vi. Sadly, as she's still going to target towards you and not good.
Yeah, like she still goes, you know, it's a little bit more useful for things like a Zed.
Yeah, you need it for Zed. You need it for, again, like
but she's still already closing the gap on you.
It is a knock-up coming in from Vi, so sadly you won't really be able to stop that one. Same goes for, like, you know, the Nolda's ulti. Won't be able to QSS that bad boy.
Diamond could be caught up here. Giants, they're going to collapse on him. Pepinero, he's going to get his 2nd kill of the game. We talked about him being really the linchpin of this team. And he's really making the big plays for them this time. It was a little bit more cleanup duty in that situation. But still, he's the man that Giants can follow into battle.
He's the big carry. And he's going to have to beat again for them. He's the Fed guy on his Israel. Almost 300 CS, 27 minutes in.
Well, it would be a big comeback, but we have seen Giants pull off a couple of those upsets before. Still, Gambit Gaming hold a significant lead in this game. It's 27 minutes in, but they have slowed down their pace a bit.
You're going to need a blue buff on this Israel, and then a fight out in the open where you see Gambit and you don't allow him to engage on you, and then Pepinero can still jump around and poke you down. Sadly, though, Gambit is not exactly going to give up the map control to Giants, and they're going to keep looking for engages every time they have the chance.
See hero, kill hero, wash, rinse, and repeat. That's what Gambit's looking for. They're standing on a ward right now. They're going to realize to clear that one away. Giants Gaming, though, seen in the last few minutes, they've definitely played a little smarter, more pick-oriented strategies, trying to make sure that Gambit Gaming can't get anything else for free. Dark Binding going to go wide. Peppy pushes Edward back, and they've got the wave with them right now. But no one's going down to deal with Kabashard just yet.
He's going to be able to push up at least a little bit. He has no teleport just yet, so Gambit want to wait for that one to be ready. He can just set up the slow push and then walk up towards this Baron here. Giants has teleport ready, meaning Werlib should be back there to push back the wave before it builds up too big. But it's not a slow push by Kabashard. He actually just cleared the wave, so it's not going to be that big of a deal for Giants. They just want to poke. Pepinero is the guy in the front. He got that blue buff now. Can they keep Gambit out in the open? Can he poke them down? Potentially give them the second dragon from there. That's going to be the tactic for Giants. Oh, look at Israel. It's basically what we got to do.
What they've got to do indeed. The Ward War is commencing here in and around the Baron pit as Gambit tries to keep Giants Gaming in the dark. It's 29 minutes in. The next dragon is about a minute away, so Gambit have to get in position to control that area of the map too. Giants, though, they're the ones who are trying to move around and make some plays, clear out the waves that have been pushed against them. Skullcrab goes down. Gambit Gaming actually eyeballing this Baron. Should just be able to bait this one. It's a little dangerous to start with Giants hot on their tails.
They simply just try and bait it because they want Giants to walk into the river where they don't see anything and then quickly turn around. They can do it now. If Betsy gets onto the backline now, they can see everyone. Or Eddie maybe with a binding. Then the fight is on and should be in favor of Gambit.
But Werlip, he's got the Meganar. The Frozen Tomb is down. Frederick taking the Baron damage. Yeah, he's going to make a move to get away as the house comes down to the back of his head. A teleport comes in. Eddie gonna turn around. Oh, the Soul Shackles onto Pepinero. He's exhausted as well. But down goes Eddie. Audrey maybe soon to follow. Cabochard not making it happen, but meanwhile in the back, Gambit Gaming were cleaning up. Werlip and Frederick are down, and they go right back to the Baron. -1 support. I don't know if Peppy can pull off this steal. It'd be a hell of a one if he can try it a little bit early. This time it's not going to happen.
That's still really low. His red buff
in
as well. He should go in for this one here. He might be able to clean up Gambit.
Yeah, Rydell's there as well. Gambit actually trying to peel off of this one. Peppy, oh, look at that damage on Diamond Prox. Moves back in, and he gets taken out by the Baron. Pepinero going to pick up the kill credit, and the Baron is going to go so low, go down. No, they're going to get the kills, and the ace, a triple for Cabochard, and it was so close for Giants. But close doesn't get you the Baron.
Oh, Giants, they wanted everything. They wanted the kills and the Baron. They should just purely focus on Gambit. Don't try and take it when you have no smite either. So first of all, Werlip jumping in, Betsy ults himself and then flash away. So this is not a good start for Gambit. Eddie even being poked down quite a lot. But then he tried to turn it around. Pepinero is forced to jump the wall, so he's now out of the fight. Obviously, Adric goes down while they're fighting down here near the Baron itself. Here's the thing though. Red buff, blue build Ezreal. You should not try and finish the Baron. Chase the kills instead. You've gotten them so low. Get the kills first. Don't try and go for everything. First one here. Diamond will go in and see if he can smite it. Baron kills him. And here, Pepinero. No, keep going for these. Pinoy is super low. Bets is super low. There's one hit, one mystic shot.
Yeah, he just didn't have nearly enough damage. You can see now, Gambit, they're pushing their edge forward after that big pick there. Thanks to Cabochard and the rest of Gambit Gaming, they take yet another dragon. That will be their third of the game.
And they got the Baron.
Yeah, and they have the Baron on a few members. I mean, Giants, they're in dire straits.
Such a tough decision. I understand Pepinero not saying, I don't want to jump into the cannon as well. So I'm just going to try and take this Baron and then maybe back away. But
I mean, they were on the same page. Audrey went forward to get the kill, and he had no backup, and that's what allowed Gambit to blow them up.
That's where like this split decision making comes in. And it's so tough because everyone on your team is just yelling, go Baron, no kill them, go Baron, no kill them. And it's really, really tough to make the right decision for him. He tried to take the Baron instead. Didn't work. Gambit got it, got the kills. Third dragon, still 10,000 gold ahead for them.
Yeah, quite the lead in their favor. It's 32 minutes into the game, and this action has been non-stop. Now it is Giants making the offensive move, trying to take down this top tier 2. But there is a Cabochard there. The Baron-empowered minions helping him out. Here comes Pinoy looking for Pepinero. He pops the Ren really early. Just going to be able to clear the waves. Peppy doesn't want any of that.
No, we got some good AD now for Pinoy with that BT. So these Ren stacks really start to hurt. They're pushing up once again for Gambit. You have the Baron buff. Just go fight together because Giants won't really be able to engage on you from their own base. Just watch your two flanks. Eddie's there now doing it. And then you can just push in.
Yeah, push in very quick indeed. Thanks to that Callista, the rest of Gambit Gaming are able to take out that tower. Diamond now can dash his way out with the Vault Breaker, but Gambit aren't done just yet. They have some options. They could push on the bottom side, but they're trying to bait Giants into a fight to take down this inhibitor.
See Giants. The side lanes is slowly pushing that they don't really care about those. They just want to go straight for this inhibitor here. And potentially, if Giants want to fight now, well, that's not going to work because Gambit can see you engage.
And they get the inhib. There's really nothing they could do to stop that one. The siege is just a little bit too ridiculous to deal with, and the lead is so heavy. They're going to go ahead and split their attention. A few on the bottom, a few on the top. And actually just clear out the jungle of Giants Gaming. They're not going to be able to grab anything back.
Take everything. belongs to you. And it's funny with Gambit, because we've seen them being this far ahead beforehand, and then in the start of the split, they had trouble closing out the games, and they would always like walk around a little bit, not really try and push the lead. But this game, they've really put a lot of focus on 1-3-1-ing, because they were so far ahead. They got the Baron secured as well, even though they had to fight for it. They got it. Now Inhibitor, so they're not waiting around. They're basically saying, we know we are a lot stronger than you are. Especially our top laner with 8 kills is pretty happy at the moment.
I think you have some serious cause to be. 2-2 on Kennen. It's not too shabby at all. Gambit Gaming looking to push on the top side now. See Eddie, Pinoy, and Kabashard all there. Remaining members not too far behind. They've sent Werlib on Giant side down bottom to deal with this wave building up against them. But he's going to have to get in there pretty quickly if he wants to defend this push by Gambit. He's got the teleport. He might have to use it. And there are super minions streaming into the base as well.
Frederick and Rydell hoping for someone like Eddie to maybe walk in first and not popping the black shield. He was smart enough to put the pull down. Super minions pushing. Should be another tower for Gambit. Just go 5 together.
No problem.
At this point as well, you can just tower dive if you want to. You don't have to, that's why they're not doing it. But you have a Vi, Lissandra diving onto like Ezreal or Corki, you will be able to lock them down.
Yeah, and I feel like Giants know this too. So Frederick's going to be the one locked up by the Dark Binding, but that tower, for the price of a minion wave, it's already at half of its health. Yeah, it'll regen, but that'll be a little bit slowly. I don't think Giants Gaming have that kind of time on their hands anymore. Gambit going to keep pushing in, even tanking a little bit of that tower. 2 minutes till the next dragon, but we may not get there at this rate. Werlib still trying to push back the super minions in the top, or in the middle, I should say, and back in the top. Gambit's back at it.
Black shield, your 80 carry, take down tower. There we go. Oh,
yep, and the fight's going to get started. Rydell, he's going to go a little bit low. Frederick going to try to be the hero. Diamond is caught in the pit with him, but there's havoc on all sides. Werlib, Meganar, but Rydell, he's already gone down. Frederick soon to follow. There's the Fate's call. Edward, they throw him in. Frederick flags way back. The shutdown. They're going to be able to pick up a kill there. Audrey with that double now. Have they pushed Gambit Gaming back? Betsy, Pinoy, Edward all dead. But Werlib and Rydell are as well, so Gambit are going to back away from that one. They didn't secure the inhib.
No, but that was close to the perfect fight for Giants. They got a flash tables on Betsy. He didn't even ult the flash or anything. He's going to die first. So now suddenly that threat for you 80 carries is gone. He's going to die here. There we go. And they get a great setup, honestly. The ulti from Kabashard, they managed to back out of that one as well. So it's looking great. And we're just going to see Pinoy diving on. He pulls in Eddie and overthrows him, or Eddie himself. And instead, Pinoy gets taken down. Frederick even stays alive. So Giants got a great fight. Still traded 3, or 2 for 3 in this case. Defend inhibitor. Now, I almost feel like they have to go straight dragon, set up the wards around it, and just hope Gambit is being a little bit overconfident maybe, and just walk in alone to start seeing what's going on, and then you kill them and potentially go for like Baron, but yeah, obviously Baron is spawning as well, so Gambit is just going to say, we can give you dragon, we're just going to take Baron for it, so...
Yeah, so even
not really
after that fight,
not really any options, no, for Giants to gain anything.
It's really difficult for them to get an advantage off of that fight. They have to stay back and defend. There's still supers pushing up in the middle, and you saw a couple of them recalling after that. They didn't really have a chance to get in there. They did ward around their jungle in the side of the dragon, but that's not going to give them anything right now because Gambit, they're the ones occupying the top side. They're more interested in this Baron, as you mentioned.
Why is Pinoy having a normal Mortis against double 80 carries and Jarvan and Gnar?
That is a good question.
Anyhow,
he needs more swords.
He's so far ahead he can do whatever he wants. But that one is not going to be too effective for him, that's for sure.
Maybe against Rydell. He's afraid of getting blown up. 2 members now on this Baron. A lot of spears sticking in the back. Kabashard's going to join as well. And that one is not going to be contested at all. The Ren procs and the Baron goes down this time without a fight by Giants Gaming. So another 3 minutes of Baron enhanced minions.
Yeah.
As well as that extra boost.
And a dragon coming in as well, just for safety. So you got that 5th dragon option if needed, but when your Kennen is already sitting on 4 or 5 items completed now, going towards a Rylai's as well. 10 kills. You are not looking for the 5th dragon. You are looking to go towards the base of Giants now. Get that mid inhibitor first and get the top lane. Wait for super minions, get the last one and win the game.
4 out of 5 dragons, 2 out of 2 Barons. Gambit, they've controlled the objectives quite well. The only one they gave up was that Miracle Steal. by Pepinero, and I don't know if he's going to be able to pull off any of those anytime soon. Nothing really on the map for them to take as Gambit have gobbled it all up. The rocket will come in, pound Cabochard in the head, but that's not for that much damage. You can see Gambit Gaming, even after that fight, losing by going a little bit too ham. They should be in a good space to push in once again. There's two naked inhibitors, one on the top, one in the middle. Where will Gambit go?
Almost doesn't matter for them. Should be the same after all. Diamond has been pushing bot lane now, so you got minions in every lane, buffed up with this Baron. He's already getting some damage on the tower.
Giants aren't moving fast enough. They're going to try to fight in the middle. There's a lot of damage. The Gnar against the wall. Betsy, he throws down the Zhonya's after the fact. Eddie's the one who gets pulled back. They didn't manage to get the kill. Werlib still trying for the team, but he's going to go down. It's a double kill for Cabochard. Where did Giants Gaming go? Pepinero staying alive, but his team is no longer going to be standing behind him, at least not for 30 seconds. Gambit Gaming, they are pushing through Giants base, and it's in shambles.
Yeah, got minions coming here in the mid lane, already buffed up with the Baron. Will be the finish for Gambit Gaming.
That is looking like it right now, Deficio. Just shy of 40 minutes into this game, Gambit with a massive offensive move. See hero, kill hero, and they killed a lot. GG to them.
All around, just a solid performance from Gambit. They got the lead early on. They kept the lead. They won the lane swap, everything. They pushed all lanes. Pretty clear victory for them. And for Giants now, we're still looking at that fact. MYM is one win behind them. They won't face them because they already played them twice. They're one-on-one.
There's no tiebreaker scenario, but still, you've got to be careful if MYM keeps winning games. But for Gambit, they've got to be pretty happy with that one. It's about as clean as it can get. Maybe outside of the H2K victory we saw right before that one. And they did make some mistakes. Admittedly, they overchased in some situations. You mentioned when they didn't have to dive and they dove up on top.
Yeah.
So, it's not quite as surgical, but they're definitely getting there.
Yeah, I think Gambit said, okay, at around 15, 18 minutes, we are really far ahead. Let's just play it out, we don't have to be 100% focused anymore, 100% try out. And then sometimes you do make some very, very, very small mistakes, and that was the only thing.
And that extends the game a little bit too. I mean, I feel like they could have won this a little bit quicker, but they did drag
you're right.
it out.
You're 100% right, for sure. You're right. It's just sometimes you feel like you're that far ahead that you can just kind of do whatever you want, and then it can end up taking a little bit longer than it should. Where we saw H2K earlier to say, well, we want to go home. Clearly, we want to have weekend because we're just going to take 23 minutes and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's also the thing about Giants, and it's the thing a lot of teams praise about Giants, is even when they are behind like 10,000 gold, they never give up. They keep trying. They keep flashing onto you with the Annie, and if you're not ready for that one, it might delay you quite a bit because you might end up lose a fight or at least trade like 2 for 2, and then you have to go back, reset the whole thing. So there's also credit to Giants for honestly just staying in the game and keeping it cool.
Yeah, and again, as you mentioned early on, they're never a team to just give up, to just roll over and let the win happen to them, let them take the loss. They try and try and try again, and they had some really stellar engages. I feel like this is one of the reasons why they preferred the Annie in that situation.
Oh yeah.
But it was just so difficult with the reaction time from everybody on Gambit. I mean, there were so many situations where they nearly popped Edward, only to have him yoinked out of their grasp. I mean, that last fight, he was at like this much health, and they managed to get him out alive, and it was just, they were so far behind from the get-go that they couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, already from pick and ban phase, they put themselves in a very risky situation where Vi had already been locked in, and they go for like Israel, Annie, and Morgana obviously was the first pick, so there's no chance of the Black Shield versus the Vi, which is basically one of the only ways to stop her from getting to your AD carry. That was already locked in. Okay, 2 more picks for Gambit, and you've already shown your double AD carry with no peel. Well, obviously Lissandra, and now Kennen came in as well. It just gave Gambit so many ways of winning the game, and meant for Giants, if you make like one mistake at any point and you fall behind,
you're going to get punished.
Your comp can't really do anything. So they played a comp which is hard to pull off, and they got punished for it.
Well, this time Pepe did still stand out once again.
I mean, yeah, Pepe, he's great.
You need more than that one, and well, I suppose that's the end of the game. That's the way it goes. We're going to go ahead and head on stage where Quickshot, he's standing by to talk to Gambit Gaming's Pinoy.
Thank you very much, guys. That is how the cookie crumbles, and it's Pinoy that destroys the cookies of Giants. Congratulations on the win. Is it fair to say you were carried by Cabochard, or How did Gambit win the game?
Well, Cowboy had 1v1 their top lane and 1v2 their top lane, while the other lanes were just even, I would say. So yeah, Cowboy had kind of just destroyed his opponent, and we just played around him how we should.
Well, congratulations on the win. It was convincing. It was quite exciting to watch. With that victory, Gambit is now in 4th place, solidly. Did you expect to be in 4th place coming into the split? And how are you finding the LCS after 7 weeks of games?
Well, the goal was obviously around top 3 and 4, but our main goal is heading to playoffs with as good seed as possible. And after the 7 weeks, I feel really good. The first 2 weeks was a bit meh because we didn't have internet, we didn't have the right practice environment, and now it feels like really great because we have also been picking up a lot of wins. We lost yesterday. It was the first time the team actually felt great after losing, because it opened us to improve a lot heading into IEM and the rest of the split.
I'm really happy to hear you say that, because Gambit as a team feels like you guys are building camaraderie as the weeks are going on. You've got some tough games ahead of you, Unicorns of Love, MYM, Elements, SK. Are you nervous about any of them, or are your sights still set at the end of the split and you're focusing more towards playoffs?
I'm feeling really confident in going into the rest of the games, because we have a really good mood in the team right now, and we all really want to be successful. And of course, our eyes are also towards the playoffs, but we take one match at a time. Now we have IM coming up, then we just go match by match, and then before playoffs we have 1 or 2 weeks off, in preparation, and then we just go full ham.
I hope you do go full ham. It's always fun to watch. Let's talk a little bit about IEM. You guys are playing CJ Entus in the first round, coming up against Space and Mad Life. I know you've already said you're looking forward to it. I know Eddie's been tweeting that he wants to get some revenge on Mad Life. How do you feel representing Gambit, a team that has historically been phenomenal at the Intel Extreme Masters?
I feel being around Diamond and Edward gives extra power again in IEM, because I really felt it when we were playing at IEM Cologne. I really felt that I could do much more. There's some power around it, and Space and MadLife, I feel really confident going against them. I think we have a good chance, me and Edward, because I don't think they're the greatest bot lane, but we are just here, doing our best, just trying to represent Gambit as best as possible. It's like they were old rivals now, and some say it's not the same Gambit, but we're trying to be our own new Gambit, and we will just do our best at IEM as possible.
Yeah, I think it's actually fair to say that the new 2015 version of Gambit is performing on their own merits, and you guys have earned the spot. You say you don't think Space and Mad Life are the strongest, and you draw power from IEM Cologne. Crepo was talking about your Graves from Cologne, saying when you blow somebody up, you call it a Pinoy. Are you going to go full Pinoy, yes or no, at IEM?
I'm going to go full Pinoy, and they're just going to be unexpected like Doublelift West at IEM Cologne.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You have it, going full Pinoy. Best of luck. I hope you represent Europe proud. For now, we're going to throw it back over to the analyst desk to wrap up week number 7.
Thank you very much, Quickshot. As Amazing said it yesterday, Pinoy Jenkins. We'll see what comes out of this one. Let's talk a little bit about the game. You touched on it actually just beforehand. The lane swap just put Cabochard so far ahead, and a Cabochard on Kennen. You don't want to give him that advantage.
Yeah, exactly. What happened basically is that Gambit kind of played for their own blue at some point, and they lost it due to how Giants basically invaded, but they were managing to stop the TP. That was a great buy by Morgana, and that basically set up for Cabochard being so far in the lane swap. Now was unable to get the wave from bottom. He was 50 CS down, then he was forced into the 1v1 again, whereas Cabochard was free farming, equally farmed to the 80 carries. Hence, he was basically trashing his opponent at some point. He was able to pick up 1v1 kill, he was able to pick up a 1v2 kill, which is crazy as a top laner, and he basically set himself up, or Gambit set him up, or more or less even Morgana, which is Edward champion, set him up for that, and it's a great team effort in the end.
Yeah, it is. But will it be enough for IEM Katowice next week? This is, of course, Giants, and then yesterday they had a loss in their back pocket as well. What do you think?
It depends. It's really about how they can manage to grasp this Gambit IEM spirit again, and if they manage to do that, they have a shot. But it's going to be tough to get out of groups.
Yeah, it will be very tough. Their first game versus CJ Entus is also not a easy cookie to I don't.
Yeah, it's like.
I have no idea. Well, now that we're officially in the home stretch of the spring split, which is 2 weeks left, let's look at the standings. In first place, you guessed it, is SK Gaming. Right behind them in second are Fnatic and H2K. Gambit is now comfortably in fourth, with the Copenhagen Wolves and the Unicorns of Love tied for fifth. Now, what does that mean for playoffs? With 4 games left for each team, it is still a little too soon to call, but here's what we know. SK Gaming, Fnatic, and now H2K, as you see them there highlighted, they have locked in a spot at the spring playoffs. But the other 3 seats are still up for grabs. Every team, including Meet Your Makers, can still avoid relegation and even make playoffs. But with just 4 games left to play, every win counts. I was actually a little surprised, but even MYM still has a chance to make it in. Full EU LCS, so much on the board in the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. People are always talking about how MYM and Giants have to look behind themselves and basically have to get out of that last spot, but they still have the option to move up, which is great for them. And if MYM would make it, for example, it would be a great storyline too.
Yeah, because they've showed that they can get those wins with their new support coming in there as well. And since the Fantasy LCS ends with the regular season, there are only 2 more weeks to top the standings in your own league. The good news is that Gambit's Cabochard is here to help. After picking up 12 kills, 3 assists, and a triple kill just minutes ago against Giants Gaming, he leads the league in fantasy points for the day with a total of 34. No surprise there.
Yeah. That dude killed a lot of people.
He certainly did. There were 5 other players stepping up this week, pulling out all the stops with the playoffs inside, earning the title of OP. First one, we got to mention him, Fox, definitely shining the couple of 2 days, 17, 5, 11 in 2 games.
Yeah, even when a lot of things went wrong for SK, he was able to pick up the slack and definitely did a great job at performing.
Yeah, the second one we want to highlight is Freeze, the AD carry for the Copenhagen Wolves. 6-3-8 as Kalista in the win versus Elements yesterday, although he got a little too aggressive with his lead, but we love that. That's the way he loves to play.
Yeah, that triple kill button basically set up for the whole game and basically allowed themselves to stall for the mid to late game where they exceed in comparison to Elements.
Talking about Elements, our next OP player, even though they didn't manage to get a win on the board, is Froggen. 8-2-2, a 5 KDA as Zed today versus the Unicorns of Love. Might seem strange, but we called him out before the game, and he did step up for his team. He picked that assassin, he dominated his lane opponent, and he tried to set it up.
Exactly, he showed what I wanted out of him. He showed the promise to actually be aggressive, actually try to go for the play, and try to be the one that is deciding or making or breaking the game. And his Zed was superb. He played mechanically perfect in teamfights, but his teammates didn't answer the call this time, which is sad, but in this case we have to give Froggen the nod because I called him out and we have to give props where it's due.
Yep, absolutely, and props where props are due. Forgiven is in there once again in the OP, and why not? 9 KDA, 457 GPM in 2 games. He's just unstoppable.
Yeah, he's always a solid, we talk about Dyrus and or Amna being solid rocks in the top lane, but Forgiven is basically like a solid rock in the bottom lane. He will always get the farm, he will always be efficient in the mid to late game teamfights, and he's always going to be there, and you always have to account for him.
And finally, a support is our last OP, Kasing from H2K. Incredible stat line, but more just the general influence on the team. The guys just said it here on Kasing. Probably it's all Kasing.
Yeah, no communication needed besides the word Kasing. Because that guy, ever since he came in, he basically made H2K better. I was kind of critical at first when I saw him, because I thought it was just like a fluke, but it's 8 wins in a row is no fluke anymore.
Nope, absolutely not. Fantastic there by H2K. But of an OP5, there can only be one MVP. With 17 kills, 11 assists, and a KDA of 5.6 in 2 days, our most valuable player for Week 7 of the Spring Split is SK Gaming's Fox. Again, credit where credit is due. He had a slow start to the season. He wouldn't always be the absolute carry because Forgiven would be there, but these 2 days, he was great.
Yeah, exactly. His whole team was struggling. They were unable to have any kind of early game control in the first game they played this week. But Fox, due to his superb LeBlanc and basically superb team fighting, he was able to pick up the slack, basically set up his team for kills, give Forgiven maybe a couple of nods, basically give him free farm, allow him do his pressure on the bottom side of the map, and basically allow his team to come back into the game, which is something people didn't expect out of Fox because they were always critical where they thought of SK as a 2-threat, 3-threat threat team, but not a fourth threat team, which Fox brings to the table.
Yeah, looking super scary. Congrats on Fox for that MVP. And with things wrapped up here in Berlin, Week 7 of the LCS will continue in North America tomorrow with Team Dignitas versus Coast. Then it's Gravity versus Counterlogic Gaming, and later on in the day, Team Impulse will face Cloud9. That action all starts at 9 p.m. Central European Time. That is noon Pacific. Now, meanwhile, we'll be dark here in Berlin next week as myself, Deficio, and Quickshot travel to Poland for the 2015 Intel Extreme Masters World Championship in Katowice, which runs from March 12th through the 15th. Super excited for that one. And meanwhile, the European LCS will continue in 2 weeks on March 19th back here in Berlin as Elements faces H2K Gaming. The Copenhagen Wolves will take on the Unicorns of Love in a battle for 5th place, and Roccat will take on the 2nd place Fnatic.
Yeah, every game is going to count. We have CW still basically evening up on the 5th place. They still have to secure that playoff spot. And every team, as we said already, they still have the chance to move up. And it's going to be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, such an interesting couple of weeks coming up. That all starts at 6 p.m. Central European Time. And until Daylight Savings Time in Germany catches up to you folks stateside, 10 a.m. Pacific. With Week 7 of the book on the books and just 10 games left in the spring split, that's all from us. Until next time, I'd like to extend our thanks to Amazing for joining us on the desk once again. Best of luck in the Challenger Series. Maybe we'll see you on stage in the summer split.
Maybe. Okay, we'll keep it a maybe.
We will see. And of course, on behalf of myself and the entire European LCS team, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you back here soon.
For Roccat, a team that is 5-8 on the standings. Tidal Wave goes out. Gold cards onto Enrated. Here comes Woolite. That's a huge shockwave. There's not a lot of damage to follow it up. SK Gaming have got the aspect. Overpower once again in the thick of things. Yankos pulling a few members. It's only the tree that's caught by the shockwave. SK Gaming retain control of the European LCS. Froggen has found Bondags. He's got Power of Evil. That's a double kill for Froggen.
They're going, oh, Wicked!
Down to see what he can do. Wicked is down. No wild growth. No wild growth. The Unicorns of Love are 7-7.
Not like that for me. You want some water?
Let's have some fun, guys.
I'm gonna have fun by winning.
That's another kill for Steelback. The Monsoon from Fnatic. They've got Horo. Fnatic will win the game. 1-1 on the week.
There comes Rear Soren, his health bar, where did it go? Looks like it's gonna be going down the Frozen Tomb. This looks to be the final fight. The Timbers comes out. H2K steamroll over the Copenhagen Wolves. Pepinero gonna pick up the kill credit, and the Bears gonna go low, go down. No, they're gonna get the kills, and the ace. Gambit with a massive offensive move. GG to them.